AMD stock is up over 5.6% as I am recording. It's definitely been a pretty interesting 5 days for the company. Early last week and Tuesday, after they reported earnings, AMD stock price dropped roughly 9%. And then from its 5 day low, AMD stock is up roughly 17%. There have been a few rumors that we have heard about, but I do believe it's more of why there's numerous reasons to be bullish in this company after earnings. So let's take a closer look in today's episode. So like I mentioned, I want to take a closer look at some reasons to be bullish in this semiconductor giant. I also want to talk a little bit about the rumors from Microsoft and AMD. I did an episode about it last week, but we do have some updates and I want to explain my thoughts on the overall updates. So first, this is the first reason I believe it's important to be bullish on AMD. First, their data center market, right? We can see $1.3 billion in total revenue. If we take a closer look at Intel, their biggest competitor here in this space, Intel still has $3.7 billion of this market. So Intel still holds roughly 60% of this market. So there is plenty of market share to grab for AMD, right? So I think that alone is a bullish case, especially since AMD's product, especially in the data center and server side, have been getting a lot of great reception. The other thing is, right, we know in the data center market, there are numerous opportunities as we continue to see this growth in the digital market. Obviously with AI, digitalization, right? This is a market that while right now it might be seeing some form of total addressable market contractions, in the long term of things, this is a market that can continue to grow. So for AMD, there is plenty of opportunity here for market share growth, but also for total addressable market growth. And remember, here in this data center revenue of $1.3 billion, AMD also provides other data center solutions. So that market share might actually be even a little bit lower for AMD. So it gives them even more opportunity to grab more space. If we take a closer look at AMD and their data center revenue here, we can see, unfortunately, operating income for the data center market was pretty low this quarter. They are releasing a lot of new products in the upcoming quarter, so usually they're focusing a little bit more money right now in research and development. I do believe this operating income in the data center market is gonna go up from here. So I think that's one of the main reasons to be bullish in this company is the huge opportunity we see in the data center market. The second thing I want to say is AMD's kind of client revenue.
Discover the world of semiconductors without getting lost in the technical jargon. My new membership offers a perfect balance for investors looking to understand this exciting market. Using my electrical engineering knowledge and experience, I will release weekly exclusive videos ranging from quick 5-minute 101s to in-depth analysis, covering not just popular chip stocks, but aiming to explore every public semiconductor. Plus, join a private community of like-minded investors. Finally, I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
The client revenue was $739 million. It was down, unfortunately, 65% year over year because of the huge over inventory correction happening. Here, I do believe that this is, and we hear from AMD, the main reason they're seeing this huge drop is one, they've been under shipping sort of consumption in the client business for about 3 quarters now. And they do believe that this first quarter was the overall bottom, and they expect overall growth in the second half of this year, but now they expect some improvements sequentially. So overall, this is a market that's being beaten down so much. We can see in forms of operating income, it's unfortunately performing at a loss. Once this turns around, once they start to ship based on consumption, we're going to see this kind of grow in net revenue. We're also going to see this grow in operating income. I want to say the similar is going to be said about gaming. Even though the gaming is seeing things like from the PlayStation and the Xbox, they also do include their GPUs here, so this can also bounce back to some extent, even if the gaming consoles kind of see a bit of a decline. So overall, kind of bullish here. Now, the final thing I want to take a closer look at is Microsoft. earlier this week, and one of the main reasons the stock price jumped up is because there were rumors that AMD and Microsoft were working on a partnership to kind of improve AI solution chips for both players, right? So it was going to be a win-win situation for everybody. And in the report, there were a lot of talks of a chip called Athena. Microsoft eventually came out late last week and said that, hey, AMD is a great partner. However, they are not involved in Athena. And I want to say they probably choose their words wisely. Even though Microsoft kind of rejected to some extent this partnership, the stock price didn't really fall down. It kind of continued, maintained those gains. What did we hear from there? Microsoft just said that they're not focused working with AMD on Athena. So some investors might be speculating that since they did not deny outright all the allegations, that there is some way that AMD is partnering up with Microsoft. And some of those solutions I mentioned in my previous video, definitely check it out. I don't want to cover them too much here. But we do see that there is an opportunity for AMD and Microsoft to work together. And in my semiconductor podcast, I actually just had a talk with Nick Rossalillo, and we kind of discussed this a little bit, where right now it seems like every big tech is trying to create their own chips. But back in the day, just a few years ago, big tech used to collaborate really well with semiconductor companies. And for some reason, it might seem like certain semiconductor investors might have forgotten that that's the case. And I believe this kind of rumor, even if it was rumor, it reminded investors that there's always the optionality and the opportunity for big tech giants to come to big players like AMD, like NVIDIA, and like Intel and say, hey, we want to work with you guys to build some custom chips that are only going to be meant for us. And I'm pretty sure all these big tech giants would gladly do that. So overall, I'm a long-term shareholder of AMD. I think right now with this price up, it is my number 2 position in my portfolio. I have no intentions of selling. I mean, just a quick roundup on compared to maybe NVIDIA, right? I do believe AMD is at a little bit more attractive price. Forward EV to EBITDA ratio is roughly 21.06. I don't think this is crazy for a company that can grow dramatically with so many new emerging technologies evolving, right? I don't think it's necessarily overpriced, but obviously there are better buying opportunities, especially after, like I mentioned, in the past 5 days from its 5-day low, the stock is up over 17% right now. So overall, I owned it. If I didn't, I would dollar cost average. I think this is a company and a sector that'll be very, very volatile in prices for at least the next few quarters. Long term, super bullish on AMD.